Live from Wayne Profit Court, you're watching women's college basketball on LHSN as the Lynchburg Hornets look to get back to their winning ways, coming off a loss at Randolph-Macon this past weekend, coming at 4-2, 1-1 against ODAC opponents, and play host to the Randolph Wildcats, tied for first place in the ODAC standings at a perfect 3-0 conference mark, 7-1 overall record, that one loss at William & Mary Division I program in the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's going to be an exciting night. TJ Wingert here, take you through all the action on the Lynchburg Hornet Sports Network. Thank you all for spending some time with us on your Wednesday night. Let's kick things off by showing you some of the stats coming into the contest. Lynchburg sporting the number 2 offense in the country, or excuse me, in the conference. I think another note on here that will be interesting. Randolph, 28.6% shooting from beyond the arc. Lynchburg, last in the ODAC and defensive three-point shooting percentage, allowing teams to shoot 36.2%. So will the Wildcats be able to get some open looks from beyond the arc, and will that allow them to try to pick up a big road win? It's a long-time winning streak for Lynchburg in this series history. They've won 20 in a row. We'll see if the Wildcats can change that. Let's talk about some players to watch, and when starting with Randolph, number 12, Kylie Stark, has got to be where the conversation starts and finishes. Sophomore, and a local product, went to Brookville High School, 2021 ODAC Rookie of the Year and VA SID All-State Rookie of the Year. Simply put, Kylie Stark is a fantastic player and get buckets and can do it a lot of different ways. Lizzie Davis on their side had 18 points at Randolph-Macon, but look at the assist numbers of the last 3 games. 9 in each of the last 3. She does a whole lot to facilitate the offense on top of putting the ball in between the rim. Steve Lanford in his 3rd season as the head coach at Randolph. Coached at the D1, 3, and 2-year college levels. We'll talk about him more as the broadcast goes on. And on the other side, Allison Nichols, former head coach for the Randolph Wildcats, and in her 1st season, the helm for Lynchburg, looking to stay unbeaten at home. With the stage set, we'll introduce you to the starting lineups tonight. It's the same starting 5 all season for Lynchburg: Brooke Vetter, Sammy Sever, Lizzie Davis, Aaron Green, and Sarah Johnson. Meanwhile, for Randolph, already talked about Kylie Stark. She's joined by Yanessa Cabrera, led the team in just about every statistical category 2 seasons ago. Joined by Sierra Cook, senior from Chesapeake, Virginia, Cameron O'Neill, and then Simon Brown. O'Neill, another really interesting player, sophomore, averaging 7 points per game. And behind Stark, the next highest scorer is Tanaya Crenshaw-Patterson, coming off the bench for Randolph. The opening tip has play underway. Cabrera to control, gets it to Stark. First shot of the day, no good, coming from Cameron O'Neill on the near side wing. Picked up by Sever. Lynchburg offense gets set for the first time this evening. Man-to-man for Randolph, open 3-point shot for Brooke Vetter, no good. Offensive rebound and a putback 2 for Aaron Green. Aaron Green, in games that Lynchburg wins, monster showings. Shooting 47.4% from the field and averaging 13 points per game in wins. Meanwhile, in losses, the field goal percentage falls below 19%. And she's averaging 4 points per game in the 2 losses this year for Lynchburg. So Aaron Green, a lot of ways, depending on how she plays, it's a big factor for Lynchburg. Some full court pressure from the Wildcats. Hornets get it across half court. Lizzie Davis currently leading the ODAC in assists per game. 7.7 per contest. The first 3-point shot for Sever today is no good. Last touch by Lynchburg. Randolph to take over. Davis on top of the assist figures, 4th in the conference in points per game. Sammy Sever just ahead of her at 2nd. Sever averaging just under 21 points per game. It's a zone defense for Lynchburg, as it's been all year. Coach Allison Nichols prides her defense on giving opponents a lot of different looks. And Randolph with the shot clock now down at 8 will have to get into motion quick. Cabrera has her pocket picked. Davis flings it forward, out to Sever. The southpaw, no good. Offensive rebound for Davis, goes back with the putback opportunity and draws the foul. So Davis led to the free throw line. First 2 attempts all night long. Enter the day, Davis, 71.1% free throw shooter. Misses on the first. And at Randolph-Macon, Davis actually made her first 3-point shot on the season. A little bit of a slower start, but again, Davis has done so much to spark the offense in different ways. We saw Randolph apply some pressure. Now back-to-back possessions where Lynchburg's done the same. Cabrera, first shot, off the glass and in. Makes it a 3-2 ball game. Davis has her pass tipped away by O'Neal. Gathered by Cook. Gives to Cabrera. Left-handed shot off the back iron. Sever alone. Pirouettes along the baseline. Wraps it back to Sarah Johnson. Her first field goal attempt sinks through from the free throw line. Lynchburg stretches the lead back to 3. Lynchburg second in the ODAC in points per game, 4th in field goal percentage at 39.9%. Defense creates another stop. Davis dishes to Sever. Won't get the bucket, but does get the foul. Sammy Sever has dropped 20 points in 4 separate games this year and has done so in 3 consecutive. Call her hot would be an understatement. Sophomore from Cary, North Carolina, 73.5% free throw shooter, knocks down the first. And it's a 2-for-2 trip. Lynchburg up by 5. The all-time series history, one-sided to put it lightly. Lynchburg 26-4 all-time against Randolph. Starks the trailer for 3, leaves it short. Long rebound gathered by Cabrera. 4 out, 1 in offense for Randolph. Another 3-point shot coming from O'Neal. No good. Offensive rebound again, this time for Simone Brown. Cook leaves the runner short. Possession's going to stay with Randolph. Last touch by a Hornet. Talking about the all-time series history, it's 20 wins in a row for Lynchburg. Last loss was February 20th, 2009. 64-54 final score there. The elongated possession continues for Randolph, and it even features a sub. Sierra Cook will head to the bench. First time calling Natalie Clark's name, junior from Chesapeake, Virginia. Cabrera to inbound, has Stark, defended by Davis. Cabrera dumps it down for Brown, or at least attempts to. Those two not on the same page. Turnover for Randolph. Their 3rd already. Alexis Kaiser just checked in for Randolph after the turnover. 2-3 zone for Randolph. The baseline defender. On this side, it's Cameron O'Neal. On the far end, it's Stark, playing aggressive, so they're going to respect the 3-point shooting from the wing that Lynchburg possesses. Team that 7th in the conference, 28.4% from downtown. Jump ball called, alternating possession. We'll have the Wildcats take over. Kate Cole and Olivia Harris both check in, coming on for Vetter and Green. Harris coming off a tough 3-point shooting performance at Randolph-Macon, 0-5 from beyond the arc. That comes after she set a career-high 13 against Ferrum, 3 of 4 shooting from beyond the arc. It's an opportunity for Harris to get back to her hot shooting ways at home. Pass is tipped. Fadeaway Jay. Off the mark, a little strong for Stark. Rebound, picked up by Cole. Pass out of the hands of Sammy Sever. Hasn't been a clean start for either side. 4 turnovers for Randolph, 2 now for Lynchburg. Good news for the Hornets, 2 of 6 shooting from the field. 33%, not great. 0 of 3 from beyond the arc, so still looking to see that first 3-point shot fall, but it does sound better than the 1 of 9 shooting from the floor for Randolph and the 0 of 4 shooting from beyond the line. Travel called on the Wildcats. Turnover number 5. And Randolph's a team that's only lost the turnover battle twice this year. Lost it 18-16 against Methodist in a win. And then 28-16 in their team's lone loss at William & Mary. And the win against Methodist was the slimmest winning margin on the year for Randolph. So turnover battle is certainly a big part of their game. They're currently second in the ODAC, forcing 24 turnovers per game. Near side corner, this is Clark, driving baseline. Tries to get it to Maddie Tyree. Another turnover, picked up by Sever. She's going coast to coast. Too strong with the right hand. Offensive rebound in Lynchburg. Gives it to Lizzie Davis to reset in the half court. Sarah Johnson off the bounce pass, now up to 4 points. Johnson, a junior from Mechanicsville, Virginia, after the bucket. Brings about the first time out of the first quarter, and that'll send us to our under 5-minute media timeout. So we will step aside and come back with more. 9-2 early lead for Lynchburg. Can they hold on, or will the Wildcats battle back? Find out when we come back on LHSN. Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia. Hornets with the early 7-point lead over the Wildcats, looking to make it 21 consecutive wins over crosstown rival Randolph. These two schools separated by not even 10 minutes worth of a drive. It'll be Randolph possession coming out of the timeout. Looks like a 2-3 defense on this possession for Lynchburg. Tanaya Crenshaw-Patterson checked in after the timeout. Cross-court swing to Stark, who picks up her dribble. Looks for help. Has it in the form of Natalie Clark. Open at the free throw line, a good drive. Layup is no good from Kaiser. Rebound to Harris. Randolph 1 of 10 shooting from the floor. Lynchburg initially trying to play the high-low game. Sarah Johnson was at the free throw line, then was trying to dump it off to Kate Kolb. But instead, Johnson called for the travel. She'll head to the bench, and Erin Green has checked on in her place. We've seen 10 total turnovers so far in the first half. 6 for Randolph, 4 for Lynchburg. Nice crossover from Kaiser. Runner no good. Davis in transition, finds Meredith Vetter. Played 10 minutes at Randolph-Macon. Her workload seemingly expanding as she continues to work her way back from the injury that kept her out of the starting lineup the first 4 games. 3-point shot, touches every part of the rim, but rattles out for Kaiser. Harris threads the needle to Vetter. Picked up by a pair of defenders, gets it back out. Kolb, then to Davis, Euro step. Layup won't go. Vetter offensive rebound and gets hacked on the way up. 4th offensive rebound for Lynchburg. That is one of their areas of strength, especially when Erin Green is on the floor. Green currently 6th in the ODAC in rebounds per game. Additionally, we'll note that she leads the conference in blocks per contest, astronomical mark of 3.3 blocks per game. Vetter goes 1 for 2. And we had gone quite a while without seeing any points tacked onto the board. Been a while since we've seen a field goal to sink through. Sarah Johnson right before the media timeout. But even that was nearly 2 minutes ago, game time. Subs check on for Randolph, including Nafi Thiem. Shot is strong. Sarah Cook misses it all, and the Lynchburg faithful in attendance will let Cook know it was an air ball. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Another turnover for the Hornets. The lone made field goal for Randolph so far in the game came from Yanessa Cabrera. 8:04 on the clock, so it has been just over 5 minutes of game time without a made basket for Randolph. Just in front of the free throw line. Shot won't go for Crenshaw Patterson. Seemingly saran wrap on the rim for the Wildcats. So it stays a 10-2 ball game. Randolph now shooting 7.7% from the floor. Tough start to say the least. Hornets done a good job, able to break the Randolph press once again. Taylor Gant, ball handler here, first time calling her name. Nice swing game from her and Harris. First three-point shot of the day for Harris. Misses strong. Offensive rebound for Kolb. Left-handed hook. No good. Another opportunity, this time for Erin Green, and she is fouled. She looks to go up with a second chance opportunity. Lynchburg, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. These will be attempts number 7 and 8. And if you're listening closely, 4 made field goals. That means Lynchburg has outscored Randolph from the free throw line alone. As much as we talked about Randolph's scoring woes, if you look outside of the free throw category, Lynchburg 3 of 12 from the field, 0 of 4 from beyond the arc. Has not been pretty for the Hornets early on either. But the free throw line has proven to be the difference so far. Green goes 2 for 2. Those are her first 2 points, points 3 and 4 on the night. Lee reaches double figures for the first time today. Crenshaw Patterson draws the foul on the shot attempt. So Randolph earns their first 2 free throw attempts. Crenshaw Patterson averaging 10.5 points per game, a 70% free throw shooter. Kolb's going to head to the bench with Sarah Johnson rotating in. First attempt, no good. Again, Randolph without a point since the 8:03 mark in the first quarter. And the stretch continues. Severs scoreless. She actually has 2. Lynchburg nearly turns it over. Shot clock down to 6. Pass to Gantz, deflected away. 2 seconds, heaves it towards the basket, misses it all. Shot clock violation to go against Lynchburg. And this will bring Lizzie Davis back onto the court, checking in for Olivia Harris. Well, if you're a fan of defensively oriented played basketball games, this one's for you. 2 sides have combined to go 4 of 26 shooting the basketball. Cross-court swing, this is O'Neal. Crenshaw Patterson favors her right hand. Nice shot fake. Laid off for Thiem. jump ball call that's going to stay with Randolph. Or excuse me, they're actually going to have Lynchburg. I don't get to say this often. I was correct the first time. Sarah Johnson threw me for a loop, staying underneath the basket, but it is Randolph possession. 12 seconds on the shot clock. The inbound goes to Cook. Now has Stark, averaging a team best 12.4 points per game. Three-point attempt, O'Neal leaves it short. Rebound to Gant. Two defenders in her face. And foul as she tries to split the double team. And that'll be the 5th foul to go against Randolph, so Lynchburg has worked their way into the bonus. You see Coach Steve Lamford talking over with one of our officials, which, for those wondering, the officiating crew today features Jennings Curtis, Aaron Forby, and Brianna Robinson. Gant misses on her first free throw of the night. Lynchburg now 6 of 9 from the stripe. Gant on the season, 2.8 points per game. Just over 2 assists a contest and 1 rebound per game. Makes it a 1-for-2 trip at the free throw line. And Gant's had a hard time scoring from the floor, 19.2% field goal percentage and 0 from beyond the arc. It's 0 for 8 to this point in the year. Lynchburg still looking to see Gant, her offensive production off the bench, pick up. Tough shot for Thiam. Garners the whistle. It'll go against Johnson. Less than a minute to go in the first quarter. And a chance for Randolph to get their first point in 7+ minutes of game time. And they do get that point. Still no field goal since that initial basket made by Yanessa Cabrera. Just over 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Offensive rebound for Stark, and she's fouled. She comes back down to the court. 3rd foul to go against Lynchburg, so it'll be an inbound play from underneath the basket. 20 seconds on the shot clock. They'll feed Stark. Now man-to-man defense for Lynchburg. Davis tasked with slowing down Stark. Hedges through the screen. Spin move. Shot short from Stark. About 8.5 seconds between shot and game clock. Randolph settles into their 2-3. There's going to be a 3-second violation to go against Johnson. Turnover number 6 for the Hornets. And it turns off the shot clock. And it allows Tanaya Crenshaw-Patterson check back in, coming on for Nafi Thiam. See if Randolph likes to hold for the final shot as Cabrera brings it across half court. Davis trying to apply pressure, whoever the ball handler is. 6 seconds in the first quarter. Kick to Cabrera. Her long 2. Toilet bowls out. Rebound for Johnson. Vetter fouled on the last second heave. So the first quarter all but over. But Brooke Vetter is going to head to the free throw line for 3 attempts. And it's a tough play for whoever's trying to contest that last second heave, because every coach will tell you, got to put a hand in their face. Because there is nothing more frustrating than an uncontested deep ball that sinks through because, well, nobody accounted for the shooter. That said, you have to be tame with that contest. And Randolph here, a little overzealous. They foul Vetter. That said, if there was someone to foul on this Lynchburg team, Brooke Vetter seems to be the one you would want to do it. 41.7% free throw shooter so far this season. Misses on the first. Brooke, of course, twins with Meredith Vedder. We talked about when she checked onto the floor earlier on in the first quarter. Working her way back from an injury. To the best of my knowledge, haven't seen the two Vedders on the court at the same time. As Brooke goes 2 for 3, stretches the lead up to 12. 0.3 seconds to go in the first quarter. The inbound doesn't start the clock, but that will end your first quarter of action. Lynchburg ahead 15-3 and only surrender one made field goal to the Wildcats. We'll step aside, come back with the second quarter of action between Lynchburg and Randolph. All that and more here on LHSN.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities, learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the Athletic Training Laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic and Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship as a win-win situation. You learn, and that helps us win.
From inside Turner Gymnasium, second quarter now underway between Lynchburg and Randolph. Two teams combined to go 4 for 29. Shooting the basketball in the first 10 minutes of play. I think they'll both want to see the offenses ignite. Really the difference has been in two categories. Free throw shooting, Lynchburg 9 of 13, Randolph 1 for 4. And second chance points, an 8-0 advantage for Lynchburg. Despite the offensive rebound category itself, knotted up 6 for each team. And offensive rebounds was a big differentiation between Lynchburg and Randolph-Macon this past weekend, as well as points off of turnovers. Lynchburg had 17 turnovers, turned into 16 points off of turnovers for Randolph-Macon. Then the other way, it was 14 Yellow Jacket turnovers, resulting in just 6 points for the Hornets this past Saturday. Kylie Stark from the free throw line leaves the jumper short. She in specific has had a tough day. Basketball, 0 for 6, make it 0 for 7. And now 0 for 3 from beyond the arc. And it feels like we're going to get to a point in this game where Randolph's offense has got to be scorching hot, right? It's a game of percentages. It's a law of averages. Coming today, Randolph was shooting 36.1% from the floor and currently shooting 5.6%. So you've got to think that number is going to regress positively towards the mean. But give a ton of credit to this Lynchburg Hornets defense. They've been stymieing, to say the least. Stark, 5, no good. Foul on the floor, goes against Randolph. Looks like Simone Brown, the guilty party. And I posed the question at the start of the broadcast. Lynchburg last in the ODAC in defensive three-point percentage, allowing teams to shoot more than 36 from beyond the arc, 36% that is, from beyond the arc. Randolph's 0 of 7. I'd say it's an improved showing tonight for Lynchburg, guarding the 3. Mid-range jumper for Erin Green, rattles in. She's got a game-high 6. She herself has doubled up Randolph. Wildcats still looking for their second made field goal. Corner 3, nothing but nylon for O'Neal. A full 10-plus minutes of game time later, Cabrera had the opening basket for Randolph with 8:03 in the first. That shot from O'Neal with 8 minutes to go in the second. Wow. Most importantly, cuts the deficit down to 11. Vetter to Sever. Tries to fit it into Johnson, has it poked away. Loose ball results in a jump ball being called. And Randolph will take over with Brooke Vetter checking out. Meredith on in her place. Mimi Oliver, Sammy Sever give way to Olivia Harris and Sarah Johnson. Hornets had a 3-game win streak snapped in their most recent contest at Randolph-Macon. 1-1 conference record puts them 6th in the ODAC standings as Stark knocks down the elbow J. Meanwhile, Randolph has won 4 in a row, including 3 conference wins in that duration against Eastern Mennonite, Guilford, and Bridgewater. So they currently tied for the top spot in the ODAC standings, right there with Washington Lee and Randolph-Macon. Those teams also 3-0. Another turnover for the Hornets. The 9th of the night. We talked about how turnovers and points off of turnovers were big swing stat. Lost to Randolph-Macon. Brown defended by 2 defenders, and Hornets called for the foul. To go against Erin Green, her first. Second to go against Lynchburg. But I want to highlight back to the second chance opportunities, which has certainly been a big point of differentiation so far. 8 offensive rebounds for Randolph, 6 for Lynchburg, but that's led to an 8-0 second chance points advantage for the Hornets over the Wildcats. And on Saturday, it was the other way around. RMC and Lynchburg both with 12 offensive rebounds, but Yellow Jackets, 16 second chance points. Lynchburg with just 6. So a great sign if you're a Hornets fan, flipping that script. Johnson. This is the bunny from just outside of the restricted circle. Zone defense this possession for Lynchburg. Looks like they're settling into a 2-3. Saw some man-to-man at the very end of the first quarter. Stark wide open. Again, no good. Rebound for Lizzie Davis. You want to talk about a complete stat line? Well, Davis has given it to you this year. 15.7 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, 7.7 assists per contest. And their last home game against Ferrum was flirting with a triple-double, had 11 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds if memory serves. Erin Green, she's up to 8. Green already with 5 rebounds as well, certainly in double-double watch. Nice pass fake from Cabrera. Gets it over to Cook for 3, no good. Rebound for Sarah Johnson. Johnson's been busy on the boards. She's up to 3. Trying to get it back to Green. Left-handed layup off the mark. Stark the other way. Gets past Harris. And will head to the free throw line. First 2 free throw attempts for Stark on the night. Into the contest, shooting 73.9% on the charity stripe. Talked about in the open, Kylie Stark, reigning ODAC and VASID All-State Rookie of the Year. She was also All-State first team for VASID. Did so after starting all 9 games for Randolph and led the team in just about every statistical category there was. despite Stark being very impressive in her first year with the Wildcats. Randolph went 2-7 last year, 2-6 against ODAC foes. And it should be noted, their 7 wins this year already matches their win total for the entire 2019-2020 season, which was the most wins in a year since 2016. 2017 season when Randolph picked up 13 wins. So it's certainly been a hot start for the Wildcats, who keep possession. Excuse me, it's Lynchburg keeping possession. Long three for Green. Shot clunks off the iron. Trying to work quickly with Natalie Clark. Turned over by the junior. 2-on-1 for Lynchburg. Gant. Fouled by Stark, who can't believe the call, thinking she had created the fast break stop. Instead, second foul to go against Stark, who will head to the bench, and Cameron O'Neill will replace her. Foul on the floor will send us to our under 5-minute media timeout, so we will step aside and come back with more. 19-10, your score, Lynchburg, out in front of Randolph. .46 left to be played in the first half of action between the Hornets and the Wildcats. Coming to you on LHSN. Thank you all for spending some time with us on your Wednesday evening. Lynchburg looking to improve to 4-0 at home this year. Winning the season opener against Averett, then William Peace, then Ferrum most recently this past Wednesday. Randolph on the other side, 1-1 on the road. Come out of immediate timeout with Taylor Gant, the free throw line, knocking down the first attempt. Gant now 2 for 3 from the stripe tonight. And now 3 for 4, all 3 points coming from the free throw line. Cabrera finds Crenshaw Patterson, takes a step from in front of the free throw line and draws the foul. Both sides have certainly racked up the fouls, 4 for each team. 4+ minutes to go in the second quarter, so it seems both sides are destined to find their way into the bonus. Crenshaw Patterson shooting 70% the free throw line this year. No good in the first. Randolph now 3 for 9 from the stripe. Crenshaw Patterson does knock down the second. Her first point on the night. Leading the way for Randolph, Kylie Stark with 4, 1 of 10 shooting from the floor, however, 0-4 from beyond the arc. And leading the way the game, and of course for Lynchburg by the same standard, Aaron Green with 8. 10th turnover of the night for the Hornets. Nothing doing in transition, however, for Randolph. Missed opportunity. Cabrera finds O'Neal. They'll dump it down. Crenshaw Patterson. No good for mid-range. Nearly an offensive rebound for Natalie Clark. Instead picked up. Sammy Sever. The erratic layup well off the backboard. Another shot. Crenshaw Patterson, no good. Rebound for Sever. Both offenses still freezing cold. Green reaches double figures, and she's been able to do as much as anybody in this contest. 4 of 8 shooting from the floor now. Of course, the game high 10 points. In a game where both teams have struggled to shoot the basketball, it might come down to who can get the most easy looks inside the painted area, and Lynchburg certainly has an advantage with a player like Aaron Green. But also Sarah Johnson, Kate Cole, Mimi Oliver has played some tonight already. Big bodies working down low is certainly an advantage for Lynchburg. First time seeing both veterans on the floor at the same time this season. Meredith had Brooke for a moment. Johnson cuts in, and it's going to be called for the travel in the shot attempt. Now 20 combined turnovers with 2+ minutes to go in the first half. 11 for Lynchburg, 9 for Randolph. O'Neal open on the far side wing. Lynchburg's rotation defense steps up, takes away the opening. Cook penetrates. Lynchburg called for the foul. So Cook will head to the free throw line. Meredith Vetter, the guilty party, her first. 2 free throw attempts on the way for Cook. 88.2% free throw shooter this year. Attended Mid-Atlantic Christian for a year. Bluefield College for 3. Strong on the first attempt. All told, Cook averaging 9.5 points per game. 1.5 steals to go with it. Makes it a 1-for-2 trip. That's the first point of the night for Sierra Cook. Meredith Vetter from the double screen action. Kate Kolb. No good with the right-handed layup. Even the shots from underneath the basket have been tough ones to see go down for both sides. Less than 90 seconds in the first half. Cabrera to O'Neal. Stark back to Cabrera. Nice dribble move. Gets past 2 separate defenders. The runner is strong. Brown nearly had the offensive rebound. Instead, foul on the floor. Looks like it's going to go against Sarah Johnson. Her second. So Randolph not only keeps possession, but will earn free throws. Sending Cameron O'Neal to the line, sophomore from Gloucester, Virginia. Seven points per game, 1.5 steals per game in the region. I mentioned those steals. O'Neal, 5 games this year with 2 or more steals per contest, and that comes after last year having at least 1 steal in every single game. It's actually not O'Neal at the free throw line. Instead, it's Yanessa Cabrera, senior from Manassas, Virginia. Drills the first. Cabrera went 2 for 5 from the field in the most recent win for Randolph against Bridgewater. Was 3 for 17 from the floor in the 5 games prior, all combined. So certainly a step in the right direction for Cabrera. The Randolph offense as a whole. Now an 8-point ball game. Gant brings it across half court and asks for the timeout. Opportunity to talk about both coaches. We'll start with Lynchburg as Coach Nichols requested the timeout in her first season with the Hornets. Went to Brookville High School. Same could be said about Kylie Stark. And was once the head coach for Randolph. That was from 2010 through the 2015-16 season. Led the program to 2 of their highest win totals in a single year in program history. And then went on to coach over at Roanoke, who Lynchburg welcomes into Turner Gymnasium this upcoming Saturday. Hope to have you with us for that LHSN broadcast. On the other side is third-year head coach Steve Lanford. Prior to becoming the head coach at Randolph, was at Combine Academy in North Carolina. Also been a head coach at the Division I level at New Jersey Institute of Technology. Associate head coach at UMass and the University of Vermont, so a wealth of knowledge. Also been a head coach at Norwich University at the Division III level and Pratt Community College. Part of the Jayhawk Conference, which is among the best at the JUCO level. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Vetter picks up her dribble, swings it to her sister Brooke. Gant with the shot fake, back to Meredith Vetter. 4 seconds, put up a shot. Vetter heaves towards the basket, finds the backboard of the rim, but the shot won't fall. 8-second differential between shot and game clock. O'Neal open for 3. Randolph now 1 for 12 from beyond the arc. That's 8.2%. Lynchburg with a chance to hold for the final shot. Gant can't squeeze it into Kolb. Poked away, gathered by Brooke Vetter. 5 seconds in the first half. Gant with an opening. Drops it off for Meredith Vetter, who has it taken away by Kylie Stark. The full court heave clunked off the backboard, and in emphatic fashion, that will bring a close to your first half between Lynchburg and Randolph. 22-14, your score. If you're a fan of offense, look away. But actually, don't go anyway. We're going to step aside, come back with some stats from the first half of play, so hope to have you stick around with us here on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
If I'm walking around over on the crowd side, I always hear someone yelling, "Hey Nat, take our picture. Hey Nat, get this," or something, or "Hey Nat, you got that shot?" Like, so I'm always like trying to photograph the crowds and my friends calling my name. I think sports at Lynchburg unifies us as a whole. No matter what background we come from, what differences we have, and what experience we've experienced through our lives, it brings us all together and we have one goal, which is to win. As a photographer, I definitely get to capture the emotion and the feel and the atmosphere of what's going on during the games and what's happening in the crowd and with the fans. We have hugely dedicated fans here at Lynchburg. They come out whether it's rain, snow, sleet, windy, no matter what. Like, they will come out and support their team and cheer them on. They will sit through anything. It brings us all together as one.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Look what you're missing!
It really don't matter to me, I'm just happy to be here, I might go crazy.
At the break between Lynchburg and Randolph, 22-14 your score. Hornets out in front of the Wildcats, looking to get back to their winning ways and staying perfect at home. Chance to improve to 4-0 on Wayne Prophet Court. Meanwhile, Randolph has some work to do in the second half. Try to extend their win streak up to 5 wins in a row. Thank you, everybody, for spending some time with us on your Wednesday night. TJ Wingard here with you. We're going to show you some of the stats from the first 20 minutes of play, and if you like defensive basketball, these numbers certainly make your night. 6 of 25 shooting from the floor for Lynchburg, 3 of 27 for Randolph, and it's 1 of 12 from beyond the arc for the Wildcats. Hornets without a make from three-point land, 0 for 6. It has been a defensive battle, to put it simply, where there are some advantages to talk about. 27-19, you see the rebound advantage. Both teams even with offensive rebounds. That said, 8-2 points advantage, second chance points for Lynchburg over Randolph. And additionally, we'll talk about turnovers. 9 for Randolph, 12 for Lynchburg, but 6-3 slight, but still an advantage nonetheless for the Hornets in points off of turnovers over Randolph. And another big area of discrepancy, 10 points in the paint for Lynchburg to just 2 for Randolph. And I think once we get to the second half, that's going to be the difference. Who can find the easiest shots, right? Who can work their way into the painted area, live inside the restricted circle, and let the big bodies down low feast? I think whoever can make that adjustment the best, whoever can do that the most efficiently, they will come out on top once we get to the second half. We're going to step aside, take a pause, come back with some highlights, and we'll talk about some individual stats from this contest and also give you a look around some scores, the women's basketball action inside the Odex. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more to watch between the Hornets and the Wildcats on LHSN.
If I'm walking around over on the crowd side, I always hear someone yelling, "Hey Nat, take our picture. Hey Nat, get this," or something, or "Hey Nat, you got that shot?" Like, so I'm always like trying to photograph the crowds and my friends calling my name. I think sports at Lynchburg unifies us as a whole. No matter what background we come from, what differences we have, and what experience we've experienced through our lives, it brings us all together and we have one goal, which is to win. As a photographer, I definitely get to capture the emotion and the feel and the atmosphere of what's going on during the games and what's happening in the crowd and with the fans. We have hugely dedicated fans here at Lynchburg. They come out whether it's rain, snow, sleet, windy, no matter what, like they will come out and support their team and cheer them on. They will sit through anything. It brings us all together as one.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it."
Welcome back to Wayne Prophet Court on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Hornets out in front of Randolph, 22-14 at the break. We'll show you some of the highlights from the first 20 minutes of action, and I'll take the opportunity to talk about some of the individual numbers on tonight's game. Let's start with the game highest scorer. Aaron Green, 4 of 8 shooting from the field, 0 of 1 from beyond the arc, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Also 6 rebounds to go along with her 10 points. Certainly double-double watch for Green. Like I said, she's the only player in double figures. After that for Lynchburg, it's 4 points for Sarah Johnson, 2 for Brooke Vetter and Taylor Gann, as well as Sammy Sever, then 1 for Meredith Vetter and Lizzie Davis. And then there's 3 players, not to score so far for Lynchburg. Talking about the rebounding efforts, that's an area of an advantage for the Hornets. 5 boards so far for Kate Cole, 4 for Sammy Sever, 3 for Sarah Johnson, and then we talked about the 6 for Aaron Green. For Randolph, 1 of 10 shooting from the floor for Kylie Stark. She's tied for a team best 4 points. Right there with Yanessa Cabrera, who's 1 of 4 shooting from the floor. And Stark, by the way, 0 for 4 from beyond the three-point line. Cameron O'Neill, 1 of 5 shooting from the field. That one make was from beyond the arc. It's the lone trifecta we've seen fall all game long. O'Neill currently sitting at 3 points. And then Sierra Cook, Tanisha, Crenshaw Patterson, and Nafi Thiam all have 1 point. The rest are scoreless for Randolph. Been a tough showing for both offenses. Now we'll transition to talk about some of the scores from around the ODAC conference. Randolph, Macon, and Guilford. It's a 1-point game at half. Now about midway through the third quarter, Randolph-Macon up 42-37 over the Guilford Quakers. Shenandoah and Roanoke going toe-to-toe. Maroons hold a 13-point lead on top of Shenandoah. Eastern Mennonite hosting Ferrum. Trail the Panthers 47-30. And for our last game, it's Virginia Wesleyan and Hollins taking center stage. And that game currently in the third quarter, just got underway in the second half. It's a 44-23 lead for Highland over the Marlins. We'll take one final pause, come back with second half action between Lynchburg and Randolph. So don't go anywhere. Plenty more coming to you on LHSN.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. %.
We're getting set for the second half between the Hornets of the University of Lynchburg and the Randolph Wildcats. Home team Lynchburg up by 8, 22-14. 20 more minutes to decide who comes away as the victor. Randolph looking for win number 5 in a row. And to stay perfect in conference play with a win, they would improve to 4-0 against ODAC foes. Meanwhile, Lynchburg had a 3-game win streak snapped on Saturday at Randolph-Macon. They're looking to get back to their winning ways. Additionally, can improve to 4-0 at home this season. Will either offense break through? We'll find out here in the second half. O'Neal finds Cook. Nice cut. In and out. No good. More of the same, at least to start for Randolph. And the same for Lynchburg as Sever has it taken away. 3-on-2 the other way for the Wildcats. Stark tries to slip it through to Cook. Pass picked off by Lizzie Davis, averaging 2.5 steals per game. Creates another turnover for the Hornets defense. Let's talk about those turnover marks, 10 now for Randolph and 13 for Lynchburg. More full court pressure. Saw that on a handful of occasions for Randolph. And that really hasn't been the seed that's led to the turnovers for Lynchburg as Davis. This is on the layup. Stark trailing on the play for 3. Clunks it off the front of the iron. Long rebound. Picked up by Cabrera. Second chance opportunity for the Wildcats. Stark without a made three-point shot today, 0 for 5. Doesn't pull the trigger. Instead, it's with Cabrera. 8 seconds to go on the shot clock. Cook wide open for 3. Again, shot won't fall. Really the adjustment, I think, for both teams is how can you work it inside the painted area. For example, a shot from Sarah Johnson just beyond the low post. I think it's good in theory, and eventually those shots will start to fall. Not this time for Lynchburg. From Stark to Brown, nice high-low game. First basket of the second half goes to Randolph, 6-point contest. Brooke Vetter picks up her dribble, needs help. Sever, only 2 points so far. She's dropped 20 or more in 3 consecutive from way downtown. Plunks it off the back iron. Stark takes it herself. Davis takes it away from Cabrera, 2-on-1 for Lynchburg. Davis with the left hand takes it herself. Stretches the lead back to 8. Fast break points, another category. Lynchburg holds the advantage, 7-2. The Hornets leading the Wildcats. 5 players all on one side of the court. Now Cook swings out to the far end. With 3 seconds to go on the shot clock, Cabrera drives in and draws the foul. Yanessa Cabrera, 8th in the ODAC in assists per game, tied for 9th in steals. And tied with Kylie Stark for a team best 4 points. And that is coming a little over 3 minutes into the third quarter. Lynchburg ended the night averaging 70 points per game. And at this pace, we might be looking at a game that reaches 70 in total. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's 24-16. Nearing the midway point of the third quarter. There's a chance that one of these two teams doesn't eclipse 35. This will help for Randolph. Cabrera, after airballing the first, touches nothing but nylon for the second. Makes it 24-17. Alexis Kaiser checks in, freshman from Floyd, Virginia. When we saw Kaiser in the first half, happy to pull the trigger on any open looks she had. See if she continues with the aggressive mentality in the second half. Davis drives in. Runner no good. Rebound for Davis, and she is hit as she gathers the board. Incidental contact. Davis does look to be okay. That's the tough part about basketball. Take another look. Kaiser, the guilty party, just so happens to find the left eye of Davis. Kaiser checks out. Cabrera checks back in. Inbound straight to Green, from one senior to another. Davis finds Aaron Green, who's now got 12. Lynchburg as a team has made 8 field goals. Aaron Green has 5 of them. O'Neal drives in. The runner won't go. Green finds Cold. Foul on the play. It'll go against Randolph. And that gives Tanaya Crenshaw Patterson the chance to check in for Cameron O'Neal. Davis, the honors to inbound. Trying to force feed it to Green. Wildcats defend the play well. Tough take from Stark. Earns 2 opportunities at the free throw line. Stark 2 for 2 from the stripe so far. See, we're at the head of steam. Tough play for Harris to try to make the stop defensively. And there were worse outcomes. If Stark's going to get 2 points in a play, you like to see her earn it at the free throw line as opposed to conceding an easy layup. See Nafi Thiam on the sideline. Looked like she was talking to the official, but she's actually talking to Coach Steve Lamper. As Stark knocks down both free throws. A 7-point game once more. Talked about in the first half, Lynchburg has taken 20 consecutive games against Randolph. And over that stretch, only 2 of them have been decided by single digits. So not only is Lynchburg on a long win streak against their crosstown foe, many of the games haven't been anywhere near close. So for Randolph, positive sign, it's a 6-point game. Although Kate Kolb is at the free throw line, a chance to extend the differential for Lynchburg. And knocks through on the first. But for Randolph, you've kept it close. And you're looking for your first win against Lynchburg since 2009. Additionally, it would be just the second time that Randolph has beaten Lynchburg at home. Still plenty of basketball left to be played. Currently an 8-point Hornets advantage. Illegal screen. 12th turnover of the night for the Wildcats. Coach Lanford frustrated with the call. And we talk about the offenses. If it hasn't been one thing, it's been another. And that's a cliche essentially applied to, if it's not you shooting 12.5% from the field, it's you giving the ball away 12 times, turning it over, and then leading to 8 points the other way for Lynchburg and points off at turnovers. Timeout on the floor. That sends us to our immediate timeout. We'll step aside and come back with more between Lynchburg and Randolph. Hornets lead the Wildcats 27-19.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
It's an 8-point game coming out of the media break. 4:57 left in the third quarter. You see Aaron Green rocking out to some of the tunes on the PA. And she has certainly been the star of the show so far tonight. 5 of 9 shooting from the floor. Game high 12 points. Next closest player overall to be nearing double figures is Kylie Stark with 6. Just 5 seconds on the shot clock. Davis has to work quick. Goes up against Cabrera, and it's going to be called a double dribble. Cabrera can't get past Vetter. Jump ball. Gives Lynchburg possession. Nice defensive play from Brooke Vetter. Started every game this year. Mary Meredith hailing from Burlington, North Carolina. Both teams staying in their zone defense. Brooke Vetter's going to be called for the travel. Simone Brown checks in with 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. Brown checks on for Nafi Thiem. Harris looking to score in transition. Nice finish at the basket for Olivia Harris. First made bucket of the night for the freshman. Lead reaches double figures once again. Crenshaw Patterson touches every part of the rim. Offensive rebound. Leads to 3 seconds in the key. Violation, turnover number 13 for Randolph. Kate Kolb out, Sarah Johnson in. Sammy Sever also checking in at the dead ball. Sever with just 2 points tonight. Davis drives. Shot no good. Another rebound for Green. Gets it right back out to Davis, and the Hornets reset. 7th rebound already for Green. Foul on the play. 2 shots coming for Aaron Green, senior from Poolesville, Maryland. 4th foul to go against Randolph in the third. So one more will send Lynchburg to the line for the bonus. Stark checks out. O'Neal is on. And especially when Kylie Stark heads to the bench. She may only have 6 points and she's only made 1 field goal, but she still has that presence and that ability about her. Make stops on the defensive side, create opportunities for her teammates. Does have a couple of assists and 6 rebounds, but with Stark on the bench, this could be an opportunity for Lynchburg to try to stretch out their 11-point lead with Randolph's best player not on the floor. Crenshaw Patterson drives against Johnson. Shot denied by Aaron Green. The trend continues. Green, good for a block every night so far this season. Averaging more than 3 a contest. Good for first in the ODAC. Inbound to Clark. Crenshaw Patterson fouled on the shot attempt. Crenshaw Patterson from Newport News, Virginia. 0 of 5 shooting from the floor, 1 of 4 from the free throw line. Johnson forced to check out after being called for the foul. Kate Kolb back in. Coach Allison Nichols has a nice rotation with those 3, Green, Kolb, and Johnson. Crenshaw Patterson now with 2 on the night. Can't convert on the second. Nice find from Davis. She has Harris. Leaves the layup a touch too short. Missed opportunities all around tonight. 3-point attempt. O'Neal rattles it home. Just the second 3-ball we've seen fall all night long. Harris has Green. Lynchburg responds with 2 of their own. O'Neal thought about it, picks up her dribble. Crenshaw Patterson drives in the shot from outside the restricted circle. No good, and Crenshaw Patterson down on the floor and looks to be in pain. And not what you want to see after the missed shot from Crenshaw Patterson. As athletic trainers are out on the floor, head coaches get to talk to both sides, and we do hope that Tanaya Crenshaw Patterson is okay. Looks like an ankle injury for the freshman as she's treated too. We'll take a quick break, then come back to Wayne Prophet Court. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more to watch between Lynchburg and Randolph on LHSN.
rough day. Jess and I are officially on a break. The couple canoe has broken up.
It's not.
How you feeling?
Living the dream.
Just
Well, soon after we went to break, Crenshaw Patterson able to walk to the table where athletic trainers will continue to give her some attention. Hopefully we'll be able to see the freshman check back in the contest. Just over 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Kolb shot denied. Block goes to Brown. Spark checked in. Finds O'Neal. Three-point shot well short. So to continue my point about Stark checking back in, that the dead ball and the break in the action allowed Stark to a little bit more of a breather, and then Coach Lanford gets her right back out there. So not too long of a duration where Lynchburg could have taken advantage of Randolph's best player not being on the court. Still, the Hornets hold with a 9-point lead. Kolb to Harris. Hands to Sever. Takes the screen, three-point shot. Won't go in the record books as moving screen becomes turnover number 18 on the night for Lynchburg. Another empty possession. Kate Kolb called. Cook drives in, now back to Stark. Still just one made field goal today for the sophomore from Lynchburg, Virginia. Kick ball against Sever. 1:07 left to be played in the third quarter. Shot clock at 12. It resets at 20. Kaiser, the inbounder, works it into O'Neal. Back to Kaiser for three. Shot strong. Rebound for Sever. No numbers advantage for Lynchburg. Harris to Cole. And the Hornets will set up their half-court offense. Davis goes right at the teeth of a 2-3, and it's called for a travel. Coach Nichols pleading that it was hop step instead of a third step. But that's getting into the minutia of the matter, and we'll leave that for diehard basketball fans to analyze later on. O'Neal tries to lock with another three. Nothing but the bottom of the net. O'Neal has all three made three balls in the entire game. It's down to a 6-point deficit. Davis from the screen. Mid-range jumper is strong, and Sever going to be called for the foul. She comes in underneath Stark. Fourth foul to go against Lynchburg. So if the Hornets are called for a foul over the next 0.5 seconds, that will send Randolph to the free throw line. But the reason I mentioned that, it's big that that wasn't the fifth foul that went against Sever. Because otherwise we'd be talking about Stark taking two free throws and cutting into the deficit even more. But instead, we're through three, and we're going to step aside and come back with the final stanza. 32-26, Lynchburg out in front of Randolph.
Together
10 minutes, all that stands between Lynchburg and improving to 4-0 at home, as well as picking up their second conference win, trying to climb up from that number 6 spot currently in the ODAC standings. Meanwhile, Randolph down by 6. They lost the first quarter, 15-3, but since then, on the second and the third. O'Neal won't get another three-point shot to fall, and offensive rebound opportunity. Simone Brown called for the over the back, but to continue that point, 15-3 first quarter win for Lynchburg. Then it was 11-7, Randolph taking the second, 12-10. Wildcats win the third, so slowly but surely working their way back after an unbelievably slow start. So will the Hornets hold on, or will Randolph complete the comeback? Find out with us over the next 9.5 minutes. Harris picks up her dribble, swings it over to Gant, has it slip through her hands. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Gant finds Sever for 3. Misses the backboard, or excuse me, misses the rim. So despite the rebound gathered by Stark, the shot clock went off, so Randolph will have the inbound opportunity. Lynchburg now 0 for 8 from beyond the three-point line. But in their defense, Randolph shooting under 16% on the other end, 3 of 19. Where Lynchburg's made their bread and butter so far, 18-4 points in the paint advantage. Kaiser drives in. O'Neal to Stark. Might have been a shot O'Neal wanted to take. Lynchburg back the other way. Green trails the play, finds Meredith Vetter. Every possession feels like it has so much gravitas within it, knowing points have been hard to come by. Green makes the Hornets 0 for 9 from beyond the arc. Cabrera, Kaiser, now Stark. It's been primarily the 2-3 defense all game long for both sides if you're just joining us. Stark, the fadeaway Jay also will not go. Kylie Stark now 1 for 13 shooting the basketball. Not a sentence I anticipated saying coming into tonight's action. Pass fake from Harris, step back 3, count it! The first 3 ball to go for Lynchburg, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Stretches the advantage to 9. O'Neal picks up her dribble despite being given the screen by Kaiser. Stark drives in with the left. Another mid-range jumper that won't go for the sophomore. Lizzie Davis is going to check in. Sammy Sever will get a breather on the bench. Inbound goes right to Stark, so despite the cold shooting, Randolph still trying to feed it. The reigning ODAC Rookie of the Year. Shot clock is down to 5. Kaiser off the screen. Goes at the cup. What a finish. First 2 points of the night for Alexis Kaiser. They come in impressive fashion. Crossing right to left, the pass for Harris taken away by Stark. But she stepped on the sideline. Stark had 2 defenders closing in on her, had to cross back right to left, and as she made the attempt, stepped on the sideline. Remember that turnover. If Randolph falls 1 possession short. They give to Green. Tries to go off the glass and in with the left hand. Won't get the bucket, but Green heads to the free throw line for attempts 5 and 6 on her night. 15 points, 11 rebounds, the double-double for Erin Green. She single-handedly has accounted for nearly 50% of the Hornets scoring tonight. As silence falls across Wayne Profit Court, Green drills the first. And now lines up for the second. And it's no good. Rebound for Cabrera. Tried to push the tempo. Didn't have any help. Stark back to Cabrera. The southpaw lets it fly. Still only one made field goal for Cabrera. It was the opening basket of the game. Nothing since. Johnson gets it right back to Green. Not enough touch. Time on the floor, taken by Coach Lamfer. His team trails by 8, 5:38 left in regulation. Timeout becomes immediate timeout, so we will take a quick pause and come back with the final 5 minutes and 38 seconds of action. Will Lynchburg hold on? Will Randolph complete the comeback? Find out when we come back on LHSN. Welcome back to Wayne Profit Court. Hornets ahead by 8, looking to improve to 14-1 all-time against Randolph on this court. Randolph with possession coming out of the media timeout. Double screen for Kaiser, defended by Harris. We haven't seen a lot of man-to-man, but on this possession, Lynchburg plays the body-to-body defense. Shot clock at 5. Kaiser taking on the entire Hornets defense. Little English off the glass, but shot won't fall through. Davis looking for Johnson at the free throw line. Kaiser tries to swipe it away, back out to Davis for 3. Off the front of the rim. Tipped out of play by Cameron O'Neal. It's going to stay with Lynchburg. And breaking the action is going to create another media timeout. So once more, we will step aside. And when we come back, we're going to bring you the final 4 minutes and 49 seconds left to be played between Lynchburg and Randolph. Couple of breaks in the action, back to back. Two sides now retake the court. And we're eager to see a conclusion of this contest. Hornets with it out of the timeout. Davis to inbound, gets it to the game's leading scorer, Aaron Green, 16 points. Another foul on the floor, third to go against Randolph. If Lynchburg can find a way to work themselves into the bonus, could be a nice way for them to hold on down the stretch. Rafi Thiam checks out and brings Simone Brown back onto the hardwood. Harris has Brooke Vetter. Davis for Green at the free throw line, over to Vetter. Shot fake, tough look from mid-range, no good. Offensive rebound, put back, no good for Green. Stark in front of Harris. Hands to Kaiser, back to Stark. Drops it off for Brown, off the glass and in. 36-30. Harris, followed by a shot fake from Vetter. Two teams exchange buckets, which have been few and far between tonight. Just 19 made field goals combined. Free throw line J is off the mark, and that about sums it up for Kylie Stark. Uber talented player. And everyone has off nights, and this clearly was one of them. 1 of 15 shooting from the floor, 0 of 5 from beyond the arc. 4 of her 6 points come from the charity stripe. Been a tough go at it, to say the least. Olivia Harris has the only made three-point shot today for Lynchburg. Ends up back with Green. Contested hook shot. Randolph gets the stop, keeps it at an 8-point deficit. Randolph time and time again has tried to overload one half of the court against that zone. And instead, well, that works on paper. Tonight, it's just led to more cluttered areas, and the turnovers have shown that story. Davis called for the travel. 21st turnover for Lynchburg. And it comes after the 17th turnover of the night for the Wildcats. Kaiser finds the seam, goes at Sarah Johnson, who gets the block. 3-on-1, bounce pass to Davis. Layup, again, off the mark. Despite the misfire, it's going to stay with Lynchburg. Maddie Tyree, haven't seen her a whole lot tonight, but she checks in for Simone Brown. Green finds Vetter. Trying to drive against O'Neal, loses it for a moment. Sarah Johnson, back down Tyree, and draws the foul. Sarah Johnson, 4 points on the night. Take another look. Put her shoulder down and into Tyree. Chance to stretch out. And now 9-point Lynchburg lead. You got to think with 2 minutes and 20 seconds with how hard it's been for Randolph to come through on the offensive side. 16.3% field goal percentage. Unbelievable. You got to think a 9-point advantage with 2 minutes is close to done. Stark looking to say otherwise. Still over from beyond the arc. You're looking at a game where Lynchburg makes one more field goal. That may well be your dagger. Davis, step back three. Indeed! when you need a big shot to put the game on ice, Lizzie Davis comes through with points 4, 5, and 6 on the night, stretching the lead up to 12, and Coach Steve Lanfer forced to call a timeout. Looking to do anything he can do to get his team back into this contest. It's been a defensive stalwart, to say the least. Randolph has more than double the amount of turnovers than made field goals. They're 8 of 50 shooting the basketball from the floor, 3 of 20 from beyond the line. And things haven't been all that much better for Lynchburg. 13 for 49 shooting from the floor. That's 26.5%. 2 of 12 from three-point land, including that last make from Lizzie Davis, which has this game at a 42-30 score with 1 minute and 45 seconds left to be played. The score holds. Lynchburg gets back to their winning ways, stays perfect at home, and gives themselves the chance to climb up the conference standings. While for Randolph, on the verge of potentially seeing their 4-game win streak snapped, and it would be their first loss in conference play. O'Neal denied by Aaron Green. Down the stretch, teams look to their seniors. Lizzie Davis, Aaron Green have answered the call. Top 2 scorers tonight, combining for 22, the team's 42. Green with a couple of blocks on the defensive side. Step back 3. Won't go for Davis. Randolph on the other end has it tipped out of play. It's going to be an inbound from underneath the basket. Cabrera with the honors. Goes to O'Neal, deep 3. Well short. Davis lost it to Green, size advantage. And Aaron Green up to 18. Kaiser into the paint, draws the foul. First to go against Lynchburg in the 4th quarter. 57 seconds left until the conclusion. And it'll take some heroic efforts for Randolph to work their way back into this one. The upcoming schedule for the two teams: Lynchburg stays at home and will host Roanoke on Saturday, 2 p.m. tip here on LHSN. Then on Monday, we'll have a non-conference contest against Meredith, noon tip-off. On Monday afternoon on the other side, Randolph hits the road on Sunday the 19th against Gaullett, 1 p.m. tip. And then on Saturday, January 1st, to start the calendar year of 2022, Randolph will host Covenant, 1 p.m. tip-off over at Randolph. The win will mark 21 in a row for the Hornets over Randolph, and with a late push, looks like this game will stay in double figures in the winning margin for Lynchburg, and that means still through 21 games, just 2 have been decided by single digits in this history. You see the foul on Davis was the 5th to go against Randolph, so trip to the free throw line for the Knoxville, Tennessee native. Davis now with 7. Opportunity to make it 8 here in one moment. That'll go with 6 rebounds and 4 assists. So despite not a pretty shooting night, 2 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 4 from beyond the arc for Lizzie Davis, found ways to make an impact in other areas. Her and Aaron Green stole the show tonight for Lynchburg in a defensive grind against crosstown rival Randolph. Wildcats can't create the turnover in the backcourt. Lynchburg brings it across and will dribble out the remaining clock. Your final score, 45-31. Lynchburg back in the winning column, 4-0 at home, 5-2 on the season, 2-1 in conference play. Randolph suffers their first defeat against a Division III school all year long, and their first loss since they were thumped at William & Mary in the middle of November 14th to be precise. 4-game win streak snap for the Wildcats. They have dropped their 21st in a row against Lynchburg. Again, the upcoming schedule sees Randolph have one more game before the calendar turns over. And on January 1st, they'll host Covenant, that road contest, allotted on December 19th. For Lynchburg, another win at home. And after a tough loss at Randolph-Macon, would have loved to see more offense, but they found a way to win a gritty contest, and that will make plenty happy. And Lynchburg now 2-1 in conference play, trying to work their way up from the number 6 spot in the conference standings. We'll name our LHSN player of the match. It's got to be Aaron Green. Game high 18 points and a game high 13 rebounds. A couple of blocks to go with it. She leads the ODAC in that category, and it felt like anytime Lynchburg needed a big moment, it was Aaron Green. And then we got down to the final minutes of the contest, and it was either Green or Davis. So give Lizzie Davis the honorable mention for our LHSN player of the match. But today it does go to Aaron Green, their 18-point, 13-rebound showing. Once again, final score 45-31. Lynchburg Hornets get the best of the Randolph Wildcats. That's going to do it for us from Wayne Profit Corp, for my director, Sam Rice, and the rest of my fantastic LHSN broadcast crew. My name is TJ Wingert. Until next time, we are signing off.